where we interview entrepreneurs and educators and learn how they're transforming education through innovation. Today, I'm thrilled to be speaking with Louis Carter, organizational psychologist and the driving force behind Most Love Workplace. Louis has dedicated his career to understanding what makes organizations truly effective and how that translates into better learning environments. His work sits at the fascinating intersection of workplace psychology and educational innovation. Exactly the kind of forward-thinking approach we love to explore on this show. So, Louis, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks, Nicole. I appreciate you bringing me on today onto your show.
Y-
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. First off, can you tell me a little bit about Best Practice Institute and Most Loved Workplace?
Yeah, you started this out basically during COVID and wrote a book called In Great Company, right? And the book is about this concept of emotional connectedness. And emotional connectedness is basically, do I want to be with people? Do I feel like I want to? Do I want to perform with them? Do I want to join a company, right? And that because people think of companies in terms of a place we spend so much of our time during the day. So we might as well have a feeling of connection with them. So during COVID, I was saying, well, it all fell apart. There's no more connection. We can't see people. So I said to myself, well, what will create a community or a revolution, a movement where people say, I really want to go work for that company, even if
Mhm.
it's distant or remote or wherever it might be. And we found out that it was really all about one core thing, and it's really silly and to even think about it, is that I want to feel respected. I'm not even kidding.
Mhm.
That's it. And there's no huge understanding other than that one thing. I want to feel respected in my work, and that comes to bear in the book In Great Company and in Most Loved Workplaces, because we see that people in most loved workplaces, they perform more and better than their
Mhm.
peers and their competitors, because everybody's helping each other in these places, and it's not just about perks or benefits or comp and salary. It's not about that, and it's not about PTO either. It's about getting work done efficiently and respecting each other in the process. And at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to in these companies that are known as most loved workplaces, and that's what makes them really tick, and that's what makes them also highly competitive in the marketplace, because people have that emotional connection with each other. So they come and take the survey, right? They give it to their employees to get certified. We actually do it for free. You can do that for free with us. Take our survey. And then if you get certified, and you can choose really about this experience with what you do with yourself as a most loved workplace, and how you use it for your candidate experience, use it inside of your company. You live the actual change, right, within your company and your people. And that's what it's about, is you join a movement when you become a most loved workplace. You join a movement about how to get work done well with people that you respect. And that's the
Mhm.
core of it all. Who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want that? It's the magic sauce everybody wants. And you have to earn your right to be a most loved workplace. Very different than other places. As some say, that it's pay to play. Here you earn it, literally. You earn it by the people coming together and saying they do it, and keeping that moniker of being a most loved workplace throughout all of your workspace experiences, from when you're onboarded to you're acquired to how you're trained and how you develop and how you grow, is all around this love of workplace index, which makes this is what makes us respect ourselves and others inside an environment to get work done faster, more accountably, and just wonderfully for our clients as well. Because we can't forget that we serve others, first and foremost in our companies.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a really uh, makes a lot of sense. I mean, just being respected where you work, wanting to be at work. That, for me, I'm passionate about what I do. So there were many careers I had where I was not as passionate. So yeah, it totally makes sense. How did you come to this conclusion that it's really just respect that makes a most loved workplace?
Because it was so obvious. It's like,
Hmm.
it became to that point where, I looked at all these other studies. There was a study I really called effective commitment study by these two people, Meyer and Allen, right? And that was the one I focused in on. And it says basically, you have three different types of commitment as an employee. Number one is One is normative, right? Another is continuance, and the third is effective. So AFFECTIV, effective commitment. Now, normative is I want to stay here because I don't know any other way, right? I feel like I have to keep things the same, right? Continuous is like if I don't continue here, something bad will happen to me, right? And then the third is effective, which is I love working here, right? So I wanted to dig in on those people, the effective commitment. I want to figure out why do you love it? Why are you effectively inside of it, committed in a way that is deeply in tune with who you are and what you want to accomplish. I want to dig into that. I want to figure that out. So I did an experiment actually with people, and I have it on the web. I can show it to you. I put a group of 12 people in one room, a group of 12 people in another room, and one room we got kind of we had a series of questions we asked each other around the construct to ensure that these were people that you could respect, right? And it was based upon some other experiments that we looked at too. A guy by the name of Arthur Aarons, who did something called the love experiment, where you literally stare in somebody's eyes for about 50 seconds and ask them questions that are deeply personal, something that you would want to share with someone. And we found that the more that you share, the more that you ask these deep questions about respect, the closer you can get to somebody. And those are the people you want to work with and respect. The other room, we didn't have that. And we asked both rooms after the time they spent together, the room that had nothing and the room that had the experiment, to decide if they want to go out for beers and help each other, like endorse each other on LinkedIn. So you might imagine what happened. The one that had the experiment with staring in each other's eyes and asking lots of personal questions, everyone went out for beers, they hung out, and then they also endorsed each other on LinkedIn. So there's a full. The other one got really scared. They got upset. They didn't know why there's lighting. They didn't know why they were being videotaped. One person left. There's expletives being flown around. So, it's very obvious that when left alone, and when there's no treatment, when there's nothing done to effectively for people to feel like they're a part of something bigger by just connecting on a human level, it doesn't work. Communities don't just do well without being touched. They have to be educated. They have to be grown. They have to be developed. They have to know where the vision is from the founder. They have to know what's expected of them. It has to be directed. When left alone, people will not always do good, period. It just won't. And in fact, there's some really negative behaviors that we've found people are more prone to do when left alone versus when not.
Interesting. That sounds like a fascinating study and really relevant. I mean, during COVID, we're all just kind of working alone in our own little space. So, yeah,
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 we're working alone. We're not talking really. We're not connecting
right.
on a personal level. And now we're forced to because we have to be better than AI, right? We have to,
Yeah,
because I can go on ChatGPT and some people believe that ChatGPT, well, sometimes I believe this, that is knows me better than I know myself, right?
right.
It's a better therapist. So if we can get that level of feedback right now from GPTs, and we can train our GPTs to automate our tasks and our life functions, we better connect with people, humans, on a deeper
Yeah,
level, much deeper level, because if AIs can make our life easier and humans make our life harder, I can bet you who I would choose.
right, right. Yeah,
So, I look for people that make my life better as a result of having them in it, because right now
absolutely.
GPTs kind of can check off that box.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's amazing what AI and ChatGPT can do. I used it the other day to upload a conversation I had with somebody, and it gave me a full summary, things I hadn't even thought of. It was kind of better than a therapist, just in 12 seconds it came back. So it's pretty wild.
It is wild, and you can get to a place where you're now able to give it good information, right, about anything from resumes. That's just what we have now. We have a
Hmm.
candidate screener, right?
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Of course, there's a lot of controversy around candidate screening, that it doesn't
Hmm.
have any, characteristics that might, create judgments that are are not appropriate, but it does work vis-a-vis values that you place in it, right? Does it
Yeah.
fit the values? Does it fit the where you want to, what your outcomes are for that job? And we can score them as well. So the level of sophistication with metrics is now available to everyone. It's not just for those who have big fancy, Fortune 500 titles. It's everyone, and we all have to. We all really need to get, in a place where we can use it to all of our benefit, because there's a lot of beneficial parts of it.
Yeah, super beneficial, but nothing really replaces the human experience and the human connection, as you've found.
Absolutely, and that's what we sell that, right? We sell
Yeah.
human connection, human respect, and if we're going to do it, and we're going to have to get a little closer with each other, the people, and understand each other, and have, the empathy's got to go up, the regulations got to go up,
Hmm.
the understanding, the professionalism has to go up, accountability. We've got a ways to go, and I have some thoughts on that too, if you want to go into it in terms of what revolution we're in now. The Industrial Revolution began, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And when it began, we worked very hard for our boss, right? And the boss
Right.
was always right. And then you move on from Industrial Revolution or the IT revolution, and we made a living. We were experts. We did our job. We did our craft. And then after the Industrial Revolution, and after the IT revolution, was a social media, social networking revolution, where people were brought in largely on the interactions, the followers, how much you could put out, engagement. Well, we're past that. We're well past the social media networking revolution. It's no longer about followers. It's about how much better can I do than an AI, and how do I embrace AI and Gen AI and
Hmm.
automation to make life better and easier for each other and at the job. So we no longer have the right to, or should have the right to say, hey, what are you going to do for me as a company? It's
Hmm.
much harder now. We can't just say we have career development for you. We have education for you. We can't just say that. We have career growth. We have great PTO. It doesn't matter. It's
Hmm.
not about that anymore. Now it's about what can an employee do better than an AI. So
Hmm.
the script is flipped now. It's no
Right.
longer about what the company can do for the employee. Those days are gone.
Hmm. Yeah.
They actually don't have to do anything.
Right. Right.
What's legally binding, right? Even then, you
Hmm.
don't. There's at will employment. So the
Hmm.
the social and work contract is completely flipped with AI, and
Hmm.
really need people to the generations, new people entering the market and creating jobs, and have to realize that it's a completely different relationship than ever before. When you come
Hmm.
in, you got to be ready to make other people's lives better as a result of being in it, or you're going to be left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah. I love those quotes. There's a couple different quotes that everyone's afraid kind of AI is going to take my job, but I like the quotes that are like AI is not going to take your job, but people who know how to leverage AI will replace those that don't. So it's really using AI as a partner, a companion, and then AI can never take like the creativity and like the emotional aspect of the human. So using AI to amplify instead of replace, or I think that's really where it lies.
It really is amplifying and helping people too to know how to use it in their context, because it's different. I ask AI a question, or prompt it, and you
Hmm.
prompt AI. No matter what AI you choose, it's going to have different outputs. So
Hmm.
each company has different data that it works with, and the prompt outputs are completely different based upon the data that it inputs. So
Hmm.
culture has become data, right? And cultures become information, customer information, employee information, ways of talking with each other and helping others inside of the specific environments, and it's much more calculated. So now I can, as somebody not knowing how to live in a culture, I can walk into a culture and take that role much quicker,
Hmm.
because I can learn it quicker. Just like
Right.
an actor comes on a stage to play a role for a specific movie or part, I can know how to act that role. My direction is much more specific now than ever before because AI can bring you closer to that role and even correct you to the
Yep.
point of, did I do that right or wrong? Oops, I just stepped in the landmine. What happened? Oh, it didn't jive with this cultural value or your boss's personality, your boss's predispositions toward certain work output. So we can actually game as a human how we interact and work within an environment by fully realizing how to get trained and directed by an AI as a human.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
can how to prompt it properly and
Hmm.
engineer it properly. And that's
Yeah.
important for people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's incredible how this technology is just revolutionizing everything, and it's moving at lightning speed. So it's really incredible.
It is, and I think it's what it feels like. That's where everybody should be thinking and going toward
Hmm.
because all roads lead to that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a redirect of how we think, and there's a lot of new studies that have come out showing a reduction in brain activity with use of GPT.
Hmm.
I would say they were looking for the reduction of brain activity, first of all.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. The number two thing is what they didn't look at is the increase in their logical redirection activity. That would
Hmm.
be the second study I'd like to do, which is what does usage of GPT do for a human as a result of learning it, maybe in a passive gray approach on the
Hmm.
PET scan. But the next one is on the PET scan is where does it light up next?
Hmm.
That's where I want to know is what's not the now in usage, what's the use of the next? So if I were to describe the a process of a human processing, right, what to do on a personal level, there'd be lots of colors that light up on a PET scan. The next action oriented is when we learn.
Hmm.
That's our own loop learning is the actual impact, right, of what we do,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Now the learning past thinking on a human level, no AI, is
Hmm.
much lower
Yeah.
in PET scan approach than I do believe it will be once you've learned the ways that take into consideration millions of points of data from AI and in history, dating back 7,000 years. So we cannot beat collective intelligence, but we can beat how we respond to it and
Yeah.
how we work it and how we use the knowledge in a more active way to learn continuously and redo, fail fast, recreate,
Hmm.
go back to the collective intelligence well, and then redo our actions. That's where the increase in PET scans will come. We just have to be looking at the right things.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. I've seen those studies as well, and I thought the same exact thing because for me, I learn so much faster. It's just incredible the things that I can learn so quickly. And then, yeah, I love the concept of fail fast and just iterating. So yeah, I strongly agree with you there.
And you know what's funny, Nicole? The fail fast concept is the same for AI. So,
Hmm.
GPT, it makes lots of mistakes.
Hmm.
So you have to work it. You have to say, well, you just gave me 10 citations. Four of these are correct. Four of these have their incorrect URLs. Let's dig in deep. And then,
Yeah.
so you go into one of the citations and you put it in and say, oh, yeah, that citation doesn't work or it doesn't exist. Well, what will then support this one, right? This one statement. And it redoes it. Says actually it
Yeah.
doesn't really fit Edmondson's construct. It fits O'Neill's construct, right? And it does in this way. So we're learning together. And
Uh-huh.
so learning how to learn has become different.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's part of the reason I started this podcast because, AI is just changing the education and learning scene so quickly. And it's interesting to think with the future of education and now with e-technology and AI, what that'll look like. So it's really very fascinating.
It is e-tech. I mean, AI itself. Everybody wants to know what can I learn. How do I learn how to prompt better? How do I learn how to
Hmm.
utilize it better? Where do I go? What's the new thing?
Hmm.
And there are so many powerful tools out there, so many powerful tools. And we look at anything from beautiful AI, right, to Gamma app.
Hmm.
These things are just incredible what they can do. taking information, developing advanced presentation. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
incredible. And what we can do with Google VO, and how to
Hmm.
create proper scripts and scenes, and how to use that to help educate on topics. And it's almost like it's breakneck speed.
Hmm. Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I guess I want to switch things up a little bit, and I want to talk about your journey. So you're known
Okay.
as an organizational psychologist, but you're also recognized as a educational innovator. How did these two paths converge for you?
Yeah, being an educational innovator with the company, yeah, um,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a good question. I think it really started back when I was in a consulting role back in 1996. It's a long time ago, I realize. And I was at Gemini Consulting, which is
Hmm.
Ernst and Young, and I was doing technology consulting back then. So
Hmm.
we called it consumer electronics, content communications, and computers. That's actually what we were thinking back then. And this was like right when the internet was like about to, explode. And so I became interested in like how companies like can lead this new revolution, right? And
Hmm.
I'm like, well, how do I do this? And so I started getting into like cool, back then it was cool, like assessment technologies they were doing. And we'd have these
Hmm.
things where we'd hold I can't make this up. They would hold like it's like a big calculator, and it would have it was connected through a wire, like to a computer. And while you're in the audience, you would press a button to give the surveys to your belief about something on the screen, right?
Hmm.
So I thought this was brilliant, and I was really excited about it. I thought it was the most amazing thing. And so I said, well, I want to learn more about like what people are thinking, because I want to know like what's going on in their heads, like how are they feeling and all that stuff. So I started in organizational psychology,
Hmm. Yeah.
is I wanted to get into that. And people like, what was like Warren Bennis and Peter Senge, all the beginning people, and who started, systems thinking and fifth discipline, all the, big picture thinking, conceptual understanding, all the new stuff in EdTech
Hmm.
all the new stuff that created EdTech. It was new to me back then. Is based upon this kind of thinking. It's mental models. It's how do we put systems together in terms of variables? How is behavior changing over time? Like this is the foundation, the forefathers of our movement. So that's what I got into, and that's where it converged in EdTech. Was when I saw this really cool technology, and I said I want to see how people think. So I learned about systems thinking, and then
Hmm.
I joined and started writing books about it with those people. And
It's amazing.
it was born from there. And emotional connectedness, and all my surveying, and the concept of learning emotions deeply was born in like 1998 with all learning from these guys, right? And that's where I think is the most clear connection from ed tech to OD or change is in surveying people, is understanding them and their words and what's behind it. And that's what I was really excited by.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool journey you have.
It's funny. It's a lot. Yeah. There you go. It's fun
Yeah.
to. We want to hear about you too, Nicole. We'll have to get into your stuff too here. Yeah.
Next episode.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we're about to wrap up here, but I just one more question I have. So there is a lot of discussion around ed tech fatigue,
Hmm.
that we might be overwhelming educators and students with too many tools, especially now with AI and new things coming out all the time. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, fatigue is real. It's happened. It's been real for so many years anyway, and it's existed in different ways. We thought fatigue was books back in the '90s, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's not that dissimilar now.
Right.
Because what's important is the tech stack. So for ed tech fatigue, what I tell people is choose your tech stack wisely, and because what you don't want to have to do is reteach prompting, reteach how to utilize certain tools in a certain way. So I'll give you an example. If I were to
Hmm.
choose an ed tech stack for, say, a school, right, or even a college, I would take things like this. I'd say I go Fireflies, right? I'd create my own Python script to look at the emotions as well, and I'd place it into my own GPT, and I'd program my GPT and OpenAI accordingly because I want to look at emotions. It's me for the PhD level. But then
Hmm.
I'd also take things like I say, just use beautiful AI, right? Don't use, we're not going to take Gamma. We're just going to choose this for presentations. Then,
Hmm.
right? And then we're going to use a stack. We're going to use one tech for our images, just one, right?
Right.
We're
Yeah.
going to take one stack, one tech now for my videos, right? And we're going to say, then we're going to show a vertical of the tech stack and
Hmm.
say, this is how I present, this is what I do, this is how I do it. And
Right.
so it takes on different parts of our persona as an
Hmm.
educator. And it takes on different parts of our persona as a student because
Hmm.
we think about where education has come or where it's been. We're literally talking about moving from pen and paper, right, to a
Yeah.
fully integrated generative experience.
Right.
Now, where is that going is the question. It's not just about fatigue; it's where it's going, and where it's going is augmented reality.
Hmm.
Literally, there are glasses now that are now finally done that look more like this.
Hmm.
That where the reality is literally in front of your face. So
Right. Right.
you can actually have the presentation in front of you. You can have the person in front of you. You can have the script in front of you. So the real question is, what I say to ed tech fatigue is choose your stack,
Yeah.
stick to your stack, teach to your stack, and then place your stack into your pedagogy. That's so important, and into your syllabus. So let your stack live in your syllabus, and then your students will follow you with your tech
Hmm.
stack. And there won't be any fatigue. You have to use it though. There's only fatigue if you have people who are all over the place and you're all over the place. And if you
Yeah.
don't include it in your syllabus, because I guarantee if you're teaching like it's 1990 or 2010 or whatever it is, you're going to lose people.
Yeah.
So you have to place it into your syllabus. You have
Right.
to, or you're going to look like an ancient ruin. So every professor needs to know this. Every elementary school, middle school, high school should know this, and you know, and students should all be embracing that stack. Every student, and I recommend that highly because I'll give another thing I think you should know, Nicole. I think everybody should know is, I mean, look, I did the whole schools and graduate doctorate, but you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
You need people like us to go there so we can talk about stuff like this on shows and make books and stuff. And if you want to do that, like make books and do research, you should do it. But like by and large, if you're leading or if you're in a trade or you're going to be engineering, you need specific sets of skills, and you do need to do the school. But the liberal arts, as it is today, needs to be fundamentally reworked because there's
Hmm.
so many students who are leaving those colleges and they don't know where to go or what to do,
Hmm.
and they're looking for places just to take them in, help
Right.
me, take me in, give me my PTO. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That revolution's over. So we have to change. We have to stop the fatigue. We have to teach to the stack. We have to help our students to get into the real world.
Totally. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think I know that some people argue that maybe AI is students are using AI to cheat or whatever, but I really think that it can be used in the right way. I like what you're saying about the consolidated stack, so there's not too many tools all over the place. But I really think incorporating AI at this point is crucial in all learning environments. So totally agree with you there.
It truly is, Nicole. And isn't it interesting how they say we use or they will use AI to cheat? It's actually not cheating at all. It's
Hmm.
living with where we're at
Yeah.
and following new pathways, new neural pathways to things that are greater than what we have right now. We couldn't do that without GPT.
Right.
And you can go to GPT-0 or 1,000 other sites to figure out if it's 100% GPT or 100% human. It's
Yeah.
not hard to do. Now,
Right.
because you still need to put in a human element, but there's nothing that can replace truly understanding something and believing
Mhm.
in your idea. Like this idea of the podcast that you had, it couldn't have existed without you believing and feeling it, knowing it, respecting it. You can't you can't replace that kind of dedication and commitment. You can't replace that ever. So
Mhm.
they're looking at the wrong things when they say you're cheating.
Yeah.
They should be saying, well, where's the ingenuity? Where's the true understanding and depth? What are they thinking critically about it, right? It's not the
Right.
paper that counts. It's about how you think critically toward your life and others' lives. And that
Mhm.
always should be. What are you doing to make others' lives easier and better as a result of having you in it? That's the
Yeah.
fundamental truth. It's not did I cheat with a GPT.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
it.
that is a great point, and I think that's kind of the whole idea of this episode actually. So yeah,
You couldn't do it without you.
exactly. It all comes down to the person. The AI is helping, but it all comes down to the person who's controlling the tools and doing everything and really has the emotions and the intuition and the drive. It's really the person steering things. So.
Truly.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been incredibly insightful. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Nicole.
I think our listeners are going to find tremendous value in your perspective. I know I did. So, thank you so much. And for those who want to learn more about your work and Most Love Workplace, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can go to mostlovedworkplace.com. You can look at lewiscarter.com too.
Hmm.
But maybe you can become a most loved workplace and take the Love Workplace Index for free, and or learn how to apply to one, right? And
Hmm.
find a job at one, because these are places where you will feel respected, and
Yeah.
you'll really feel like you're giving a lot to the world and achieving a lot as a human being.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Bye, Nicole. Good seeing you.
You
Thanks.
too. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.